She didn't get a dramatic exit. No tearful confessional, no explosive falling out caught on camera. Jolene MacIntyre, the woman who quite literally built Bad Chad Customs from the ground up, simply went quiet. One post, 4,000 reactions. Taking time to recalibrate. I'll be back soon. And then nothing. No explanation. No follow-up. Just silence from the person who turned a scrap metal builder from rural Nova Scotia into a Discovery Channel star. 8 years, 2 seasons, 1 engagement ring that never became a wedding ring. So what actually happened, and why is nobody talking about it? Before Bad Chad was a brand, before there was a Discovery Channel deal or a merchandise store or a YouTube channel with millions of views, there was a woman with a commerce degree and a phone camera who saw something in a Nova Scotia scrap metal builder that the rest of the world hadn't figured out yet. Jolene MacIntyre grew up in Centreville, Nova Scotia. A small town, quiet life, nothing that pointed toward reality television. She was athletic, driven, the kind of person who showed up and did the work. She played soccer at St. Mary's University in Halifax, holding her own as a midfielder for the SMU Huskies while earning a Bachelor of Commerce in Finance. When she graduated, she took a supervisor role at a golf resort, then picked up shifts at a pool hall in New Minas. That's where everything changed. Chad Hiltz walked in one day and asked her to put up a flyer for a local car show. That was it. That was the moment. Sparks flew fast, and by 2016, Jolene had gone from waitstaff to the driving force behind a custom car operation that had no idea how big it was about to get. What people tend to forget, or never knew in the first place, is that Jolene wasn't just Chad's girlfriend who happened to appear on camera. She was the one who identified the opportunity, built the social media presence from scratch, and made a deliberate, strategic decision to document Chad's work and put it in front of the world. She didn't stumble into this, she engineered it, and without that decision, there is no Bad Chad Customs. Full stop. The project that changed everything wasn't a car show trophy or a television pitch. It was a Bugatti, or at least the closest thing to one that a guy with basic tools and a junkyard budget could pull off. Chad offered to build Jolene a replica of Ralph Lauren's $40 million Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, one of the rarest cars ever made, a vehicle that sold at auction for over $30 million, and Chad Hiltz was going to recreate it from scrap metal in a hand-built shop in Canning, Nova Scotia. Most people would have laughed. Jolene grabbed her phone and started filming. Every Friday, she posted a new video showing the progress of the build. No production crew, no budget, no strategy beyond the simple belief that what Chad was doing deserved an audience. She produced it herself, edited it herself, and put it out into the world herself. The internet responded exactly the way she suspected it would, with genuine disbelief that a man with limited resources was pulling off something this extraordinary. That footage caught the attention of Discovery Channel executives, and suddenly the couple found themselves being offered a reality television show. Let that sink in for a second. The entire franchise, the brand, the merchandise, the fan base, every dollar that followed traces directly back to Jolene pointing a phone at a half-finished replica car and deciding the world needed to see it. She later told Monsters and critics that social media is a very powerful tool. That might be the understatement of the decade, because what Jolene actually did wasn't just document a car build. She built the foundation of everything that came next. Bad Chad Customs premiered on Discovery Channel in January 2019. And it landed exactly the way Jolene had always believed it would. Audiences connected immediately, not just with Chad's outrageous builds, but with the whole world around him. The tight-knit team, the Nova Scotia setting, the underdog energy of a man turning junk into jaw-dropping machines. It was genuine, and people could feel it. Jolene was right there through all of it. On screen, off screen, managing the business, handling the numbers, keeping the operation running while Chad did what Chad does. She spoke openly about wanting the Bugatti build finished in time to use as their wedding car. 8 years in, that car is still unfinished. So is the wedding. The engagement had been official since August 2017. By the time Season 2 wrapped in October 2020, they had been engaged for over 3 years with no public movement toward the altar. Fans noticed, but nobody pushed too hard on it. The show was thriving. The YouTube channel was growing. The brand was expanding. It was easy to assume the wedding was simply getting pushed back by the pace of everything else. Then came the news that should have been the beginning of something bigger. Chad confirmed publicly in late 2020 that they had already been signed by Discovery for a 3rd season, with filming expected to begin the following year. Fans celebrated. The momentum seemed unstoppable, but season 3 never came. No announcement, no explanation, no cameras rolling. Discovery went quiet, Chad went quiet, and the show that Jolene had built from a phone camera and a Friday posting schedule simply stopped, leaving more questions than anyone expected, starting with one that had nothing to do with cars. When the show stopped, so did Jolene. Not immediately, not dramatically, just gradually, the way a signal fades when you drive too far from the tower. The woman who had been posting consistently, building the brand, showing up on camera and behind the scenes, simply began to pull back from public view. No announcement, no explanation, just a slow, quiet withdrawal that fans started noticing long before anyone said it out loud. Comment sections began filling up with the same question, over and over. Where is Jolene? TikTok channels dedicated entire videos to tracking her disappearance. YouTube creators chased the story. Reddit threads speculated. The curiosity was real and it was widespread, because Jolene hadn't just been Chad's fiancée on a TV show. She had been the face of the brand alongside him, and her absence felt like a missing piece that nobody could explain. Then came the post. Jolene updated her Facebook, the same platform she had used for years to document builds, promote the channel, and connect with fans, with 4 words that stopped people mid-scroll. Taking time to recalibrate. I'll be back soon. Over 4,000 reactions. Nearly 700 comments. Fans flooded in with concern, with questions, with support, demanding to know what was going on behind the scenes. She never followed up. No clarification, no return post, no update of any kind. Just those 9 words hanging in the air like exhaust smoke after a burnout. What makes it stranger is that her Facebook profile still lists her professionally as digital media architect at Bad Chad. She didn't cut ties publicly. She didn't make a statement. She simply went still, and the silence itself became the story nobody could stop talking about. Here is where it gets complicated, because despite everything, the picture isn't entirely one of collapse. The evidence is mixed, and that ambiguity is exactly what has kept fans guessing for years. Chad and Jolene appeared together publicly at the Toronto Motorama Custom Car and Motorsports Expo in March 2023. Not just in passing. They were there all 3 days, signing autographs, taking photos with fans, participating in a live roof chop. By every visible measure, they showed up as a unit. The official Motorama press release still referred to Jolene as Chad's fiancée. No tension, no distance, at least not anything the public could see. The Hiltz Auto Co. website still carries her presence throughout. Merchandise with both their names sells alongside Chad's solo gear. The tagline on one product line reads, "Couples who build cars together stay together." Whether that's outdated copy nobody got around to changing, or a deliberate signal is impossible to say from the outside. What is undeniable is the timeline. They started dating in 2016. The engagement happened in August 2017. It is now 2025. 8 years of partnership, nearly 8 years of an engagement with no wedding date ever publicly set, and a woman who once talked openly about wanting their Bugatti finished in time to drive to the ceremony has gone almost completely silent on the subject. Jolene's own words from the early days paint a picture of someone deeply invested in a shared future. "I want it to be our wedding car," she said. "That car, as far as anyone can tell, is still not finished." And the question fans can't shake is a simple one. At what point does waiting stop being patience and start being something else entirely? There is a pattern that shows up time and again in the world of automotive and reality television, and Jolene MacIntyre's story fits it uncomfortably well. A woman enters a male-dominated space, brings her skills, her intelligence, her vision, and quietly becomes the engine behind someone else's name on the door. The brand grows, the audience expands, and somewhere in that process, the woman who made it possible starts to disappear from the frame. Jolene built the social media presence. Jolene filmed the Bugatti. Jolene managed the finances, handled the logistics, kept the shop running while Chad's name became a household word in custom car circles. She co-founded Hiltz Auto Co. Her fingerprints are on every corner of that operation. And yet when people search for Bad Chad Customs, they're searching for Chad. That dynamic doesn't automatically explain the silence. It doesn't confirm a split or a falling out or any specific decision made behind closed doors. What it does is provide context for why a woman of Jolene's capability and drive might eventually step back and ask herself a hard question about where she fits in a story that carries someone else's name. Her post said she was taking time to recalibrate. That word, recalibrate, is deliberate. It doesn't mean broken, it doesn't mean finished, it means recalculating direction after something shifted. What shifted, only Jolene knows. But the fact that 4,000 people reacted to 9 words on a Facebook post tells you everything about how much she still matters to the people who followed this story from the beginning. The silence isn't nothing. If anything, it might be the most honest thing she's said in years. Here is what we know for certain. A woman with a commerce degree and a phone camera walked into a scrap metal builder's world in 2016 and turned it into something the rest of the planet wanted to watch. She built the audience, co-founded the business, and stood beside Chad Hiltz through 2 television seasons, a broken promise of a third, and nearly 8 years of an engagement that never became a marriage. And then she went quiet, no explosion, no public statement, no dramatic reveal, just a single post about needing to recalibrate, 4,000 reactions, and a silence that is stretched long enough to become its own kind of answer. Whether Jolene MacIntyre returns to the public eye on her own terms, whether she and Chad eventually address what fans have been asking for years, or whether the quiet simply continues, none of that changes what she already accomplished. She proved that the person holding the camera can matter just as much as the person in front of it, sometimes more. The real question this story leaves you with isn't about bad chat at all. It's about what happens to the people who build something extraordinary and then have to decide whether staying is still worth it.